Good morning and welcome back to the Evil Dungeon Master Universe podcast. I am your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince. Hopefully, you're having a good Wednesday, middle of the week, and we are back for another show today. TheEvilDM.com is my website where I have all the information about all the podcasts and stuff I'm doing. Currently in the middle of what am I doing here? I forget. Oh yeah, I'm doing in the middle of doing my AD&D solo, as well as preparing for a Shadowrun Second Edition campaign. This weekend we're going to be starting up doing characters and everything like that, so that should be a fun time. I got 3 players, which should be very interesting. I think one's going to be a mage, another one's going to be a physical adept, and I don't know what the third person is going to be offhand, but it should be interesting. I like smaller groups when it comes to playing games because it gives people more time, more spotlight, and sometimes it's a little bit more of an interesting adventure when it comes to these games. And not saying a large group is bad because a large group is just as fun, but sometimes people miss out on uh, getting in the spotlight, having their moment, and their ideas heard because there's just so many voices and everybody's arguing. And sometimes arguing can be funny and fun, but after a while, it's just like, all right, guys, stop. I mean, I had the one episode when we were playing Dead Rain, and everybody was arguing where to park the truck. And after 5 minutes of them arguing, I was just like, you know what, the damn truck just stalls. Because I was tired because they were moving the truck back and forth. And I know they were doing it just to get a good laugh because that's what people do. But after a certain amount of time, it's just like, okay, guys, stop arguing enough. Let's just move forward. But today, I wanted to talk about hex maps and this product that I found on Drive Through RPG called Hexterity by Broadsword Bard. It is pay what you will supplement, and it's actually really good because when I started doing the AD&D solo, it's giving me a lot of ideas as far as how to do the text map and how to do layouts, and it gives us a calendar in here of dates you can keep track of as well as days of the week if you want to do weather events or like have certain events trigger off. I would say this is more for a group play, but you can use it for solo based on some of the things in here. It talks about hex features, as in what features are in the actual hex itself, such as landmarks, magical sites, and structures, and it has its own little charts on here you can roll in full of charts. I love rolling on charts. And the landmark has its own page full of different things you can roll on and what's inhabited in the areas, and the magical sites, or has what it could be as far as minor magical or a curse site, a minor or major, excuse me, no, minor magical. And each of those have a nice little chart to roll on, so you can give your hexes a little bit of really cool spice with this 18. Oh, is it 18 pages? Oh, something like that. There's no page count actually on it because he didn't put page numbers. Oh, whatever. I printed it out in a pamphlet sized book. That's why you see in the picture. He gives you some ideas for where you can get some software to use to make your hex map, such as Hexographer or Hex Flower Weather Generator or Donjon Generator. You can also generate dungeons in here as well. And it also has, let me go to the dungeon section here for you, what you can populate your dungeon with. Now, there isn't really much. Well, now that I look at it again, there is some rules in here how to build the dungeon and what size the dungeon is and how many floors and how many paths and everything, but there's no real. I don't see anything as far as uh, how large the rooms are. I mean, it's a small, medium, and large. I guess you could decide what that really is as far as the dungeon is concerned, but it has a lot of fluff for filling the dungeon. What like magical items are in there? Maybe there's a person in there. There's a ghost. What we have here, which mostly I bought for, was the wilderness exploration, moving through terrains, searching through terrains, encounters, exploring, continuing, getting lost, and then there's a hex key, and then depends on where you get lost. And another thing that I wanted in here was the monster tables, which I appreciate because I hate making wandering monster in tables, and this one has an entire one, two, three, yeah, almost 4 pages of it towards the back. Five pages of adventure, wandering monster encounters with table after table, and I love tables. This is a very small. It's a very small book, and I think it's worthwhile for picking up. So quickly looking it up, it comes out to a page count of 21, and the way I printed it, it was kind of like a pamphlet book, so it only is about 10 pages. It doesn't look like many because of the way I did it in this small. It's the Manual of Hexterity is the full name. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can take a look at it. It is definitely worth picking up and paying what you want for it and giving the author a couple bucks. He's suggesting $2 at least. Why not? Pay the $2 and definitely do it. It's an Electrum bestseller. We can probably get them up higher than that if we do it. It is definitely made for old school gaming and a complete guide to running sandbox wilderness hex crawls for use with your old school tabletop fantasy role playing game. Made for OSR games, but easily adaptable to any old school system. What makes this title differ from other hex crawl guides? This one is meant to be concise and easy to use. Use print for both prep and in game. It's not so granular with multiple subtables that spawn several pages. It strives to be less of a reference book and more of a gameplay tool, the aid for your own creativity instead of the tools to replace it. Everything is designed with an idea of printing out of the pages and placing them in your GM notebook while gaming. The original Word doc file is included, so you can download and you can change any of the tables to fit your campaign, which I didn't realize that was there. I just downloaded the PDF and made it into a. Yeah, you're right. There is the print is right there. So I would definitely download this and use it. Uh, I think it's excellent, and I'm going to be using in my AD&D solo game probably when the time comes for it. But it's worthwhile picking up. I'm gonna definitely put a link for you guys to check it out. With that said, I'm probably gonna head out for today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to hit me up on facebook.com/evil dungeon master or ask the DM at evilDM.com or on Twitter at the Evil DM. I know there's a lot of people that ask me a bunch of questions and I have them sitting in the queue, but I like to answer them as the inspiration sparks because sometimes I just answer the email and I'm like, oh crap, I could have used that for the show, not realizing it because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, I got to get a couple of those together and hopefully work them together into a giant show. Maybe I don't know. You want a giant email show? If you want an email bag show, I could do another email bag show. Those are kind of fun. You know what? Maybe I will do that for the next episode. I'll get all the emails that I have. I have about 4 of them that I answered and I should have used on the show and answered, but I can just answer them on the show so other people can hear it. Let me write to those people and ask them if I could use it on the show as a question. All right, heading out. With that said, no clickbait, no drama, all gaming here on this channel. And hopefully you enjoy. God bless and good night.